Okay, welcome to another episode of Minneapolis by Night. We are at the vineyard with McKenna and Miriam in regards to the aftermath of the power plant raid. And McKenna is sitting at the bar, one of her usual spots, with a shot in hand.
Miriam comes in. She looks slightly ragged and tired, but that's because she spent the last 10 hours doing really intensive ritual magics. So luckily she didn't. She managed to do all of that without picking up any paradox. So that's nice.
Yes, that's good. McKenna looks at Miriam. You look rough.
Just spent 10 hours doing some shit, and just in time to spend the next 12 doing more. So I need a drink between shifts.
I know that feeling. She shoots a shot.
She has a seat right next to McKenna and says, the kosher red, leave the bottle.
And the bartender does just that.
Yep. And Miriam doesn't bother with cups because she's probably going to screw up and have watered down wine, so she just drinks from the bottle.
There you go.
Yeah.
Must be really rough if you're going for the whole bottle.
Well, like I said, I gotta spend the next 12 hours doing things, and I can at least clear my head before that.
It's kind of head clearing I like to do.
Yep. So, have you guys been experiencing anything weird after the power plant?
Yeah, actually, there was a really big... she pauses for a moment and looks around.
Miriam's going to sigh slightly, and she's going to sort of stare off into space, and she's going to cast a thing to make it so nobody overhears us.
Okay.
This is the thing she's done twice before already. It's basically she's making a nice circle of fear.
Yep. Keeping people out. Okay.
That's 2, because this is going to be a pretty basic effect. Still 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Yeah.
So for the scene, people will be hit with 4 points of
stay out here.
If they get within about 5 feet of us.
All right. She leans back in her chair after a minute after that second of looking around, and she's like,
she looks around, and so the only person within about 5 feet goes and moves away.
She's not going to complain about it. She's whatever. Work convenient for us. Well, yeah, the Karens or Seps have grown immensely in power, that being one of them.
Well, that's something we'd arranged beforehand, at least as much as possible.
Yep.
It was a change of plans halfway through the stream of stealing the energy they had rather than just blowing it up.
I think that worked out for everybody.
Yeah.
But no, it's a lot easier to go to the other side.
Yeah, at least since Project Eden got stopped, we think that may actually have gone a bit too far in our direction. There may be something unstable in the rubble.
Okay, so that's something to further look into.
We're gonna have a look at that later. I'm gonna have no sleep, but I'm gonna be running on nothing but raw magic to stay awake. So that's gonna be fun.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And she takes a twig of wine.
The other thing with this was that we ourselves actually, our spirit seems to have increased, and going over to the other side is virtually like nothing. Which is very unusual even in a city. There's definitely an aftermath.
Then yeah, things have gone a bit further than we thought.
Do you guys need anyone to check the other side
We've
in
got
regards to these?
we've got people who can do that, but we could use some muscle.
All right, all right. I'd be down to help. Uh,
Um,
Keeps me from sitting around drinking all day.
yeah, you've got my number. Do I have yours? She checks
Yes,
her thing.
you
Yeah,
should.
okay, I have yours. Yeah. And sorry, I just spent 10 hours. All right, here's what I've been doing for the last 10 hours. I've been projecting my consciousness over 6 square mile blocks of the city, looking for any new well springs of energy cropping up from this thing.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, I would say so. Wow. And what did you guys find anything? Like
We're still collating the
this
data.
is
In other words, they haven't gotten back to me yet.
gotcha. Gotcha. So all this I wonder if it's doing anything to the leeches.
It is. They're having weird dreams.
Dreams, huh?
Yeah, and that's why I've got to spend the next 12 hours, I should say, monitoring one of their dreams. And she takes another swig of wine.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah,
That
that's assuming nothing happens. I got to spend the whole
do
freaking
they
day doing it. If something happens, then I just have to spend until the something happens.
aha.
Yeah.
So this could be a waiting game.
Yeah. But
Right?
I've gotten two different stories of weird dreams from two different kindred.
What are the dreams about?
One of them seeing a vampire with charcoal black burnt skin. The other one is seeing the city flooded with toys.
Toys?
Toys. From
Toys.
Yeah, toys.
Well, Miriam, you recognize Lorenzo. You've seen him before.
Yeah.
He walks into the vineyard.
I wasn't going to interrupt you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
McKenna.
Miriam will look over at him and she'll wave him over and she'll say, "Mind the field."
Just walk
And
through
as Lorenzo approaches, he suddenly feels a field of 4 points of mind to fear effect. But you're a werewolf; you should be able to deal with it.
No, he's human.
No, he's human.
Oh,
He is human.
don't,
He's
sorry.
Marcella's kid, remember?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I am tired as fuck. And
I know everybody
Yep.
keeps getting
okay, so you get 4 points of mind to fear effect, and you probably can't resist it at that point. Roll a willpower.
Yeah, that's what I was about ready to roll.
She actually, if he
That won't be
makes it
enough.
close enough, is readying something.
Yeah.
That won't be
He
enough.
walks close and turns around and walks away.
Yeah, it's he walks. No, it's you walk close, and all of a sudden your mind is filled with just raw fear, like Scarecrow in the fucking house. And Miriam goes, "Ah, crap, he's human," and shuts the field down and waves him over
Wait,
again.
what?
He walks back over.
Wait, what?
God, that is freaky when you do that shit.
Sorry, this
All
is
good, I understand.
She looks like back and forth between the kid and Miriam.
this is Lorenzo. He's an associate we've met.
He smiles.
Hi, Lorenzo. How's Marcella?
Mom's mom.
Hmm. McKenna's just like kind of like still like human, huh? Okay.
He knows the score.
Interesting. Curious.
Yeah, he's one of the leech's people.
He goes, "Forgive me, let me introduce
See.
myself. Lorenzo Giovanni."
God. I don't have vampire lore, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They just
Well, Miriam did say he's one of the leech's people.
Yep, so.
sort of.
McKenna Kane.
You hear sort
She-
of. You just people. He nods. McKenna.
Yes.
All right.
I'm
Lorenzo.
about to wander around.
Lorenzo, has Marcella been experiencing any unusual dreams?
Yep.
Did she happen to describe them to you?
Yep.
Would you mind telling me what she's seeing?
Nope.
McKenna is very curious about this kid. Like, this mortal kid, like...
Perception and empathy, both of you, to see if you can read his.
apprehensive. Let's see. 4, 7.
Miriam
That's
actually
the
could
one.
read someone. Miriam could actually read someone today. Yay!
Yay.
Oh, hey! Look, 2, 4, 5,
Christ.
6,
Okay.
7.
Yeah, she's good. She can definitely read that.
McKenna looks at him and suddenly knows that he got a C in high school at one time.
So what's
Yeah,
McKenna
as
picking up here?
soon as dreams get brought up, he kind of seems a little apprehensive about wanting to talk about it. But it seems more personal than that.
You're experiencing the dreams.
And he looks over.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yes. So what are your dreams about, Lorenzo?
Apparently, the
One
same
moment,
thing everybody
I've
else
gotta
is.
One moment, I've got to put the field back up on now.
He goes, oh crap! Don't do that
No,
yet. I need to get a drink.
No, I'm using correspondence to say circle around except for this area.
Yeah, he just wanted to get a drink though. Not alcohol, water, but or Coke. And
She gets a nosebleed.
Well, hey, it doesn't...
see what happens when you keep trying? He just looks at you.
Yeah,
the third time I've seen you do that with a nosebleed.
Yeah.
So, I know what she is and points to Miriam. What are you?
What do you think I am? She just smiles.
Well, you're not pale enough to be part of Mom's family, so...
No, I most certainly am not.
And she's not a mage, and she's also part of our wonderful little community of things that go bump in the night, so...
He nods, gotcha.
She just smiles.
Oh, yes, I'm more informed than most are. He just looks at McKenna.
Yeah, he knows the score. Think of him as a leech in training.
Correction. No, think of it as leeches gave me training. They just don't know that I'm not going to be one of them.
And how do you know that?
Because there are forces at work to ensure that doesn't happen. He just looks over.
She just nods approvingly because, hey, one less leech, the better.
One thing or another.
Good luck, kid.
He smiles. Luck has always seemed to be on my side.
Hope so.
Anyhow, nobody's gonna overhear this. So, what dreams are you having? Miriam says as she tiredly gets out her phone to write this all down.
A sea of games encompassing the city, literally covering the entire city in games. Board games.
Toys and games, huh?
Toys and shit like that. On top of it, a wolf. Yeah, wait.
Be a manufacturer for the games?
Yeah, I'm getting to that. Hold on. On top of it, a black wolf and a black ram, both what looks like playing chess. They both have a heart-shaped fur patch, for lack of a better term. That's kind of greenish in color, which is kind of trippy. And the table they're sitting on to play this chess, there's several seats open, for lack of a better term. They're reserved but not being used.
How many seats?
5 or
Who-
6.
Who are they reserved
Yeah.
for?
Well, for the pure symbolism aspect, I could give you the symbols, but I could just purely tell you which clans they are. If you look right at Miriam,
Kindred clans. Gotcha.
you know, except the one that is labeled TR has no symbol whatsoever.
And she'll nod.
TR.
She'll nod. Yeah, that's identical to one of the stories I've heard, except for the ram and the
Yeah,
wolf
that part's
part.
creepy.
That part's different.
I haven't heard any of them. So
You
who
see him start
manufactured?
drawing some symbols. He turns it towards McKenna. I figure you might know those.
she looks at them. Are they?
You see the spiral symbol, and for Mori, just for fun. I'm just adding that.
Okay, so they're guru glyphs on this sheet.
Mm-hmm.
What the
He looks at you.
bloody fuck?
Since I
She
know a
says
lot of
that out loud.
since I know a lot of kindred lore, or kindred culture type, and those symbols don't look familiar. I figured maybe someone not from our end of things would know what those mean.
This is bad. Sorry.
And that's what I thought.
Uh,
Well, the black wolf and the black ram, didn't exactly inspire confidence in me either.
I am not entirely sure how much you know about things, but listen, kid, you're young and
Let's
you
see,
still
the
got a
mages and
chance.
the mages and the group fucked up a power plant. Because they fucked up the power plant, there's this weird aura throughout the city that's affected all supernaturals.
This okay.
He looks at you.
Yes, basically. Now,
aside from kindred,
these symbols, I will give you this because she's just giving away worm lore.
fuck them.
This symbol here is Femora. It stands for Femori.
Okay, figured it was something creepy.
Yeah, Femori.
And just from the name alone, I don't want to know. I'll learn later. That's good enough for me. Something creepy. Got that. What's the other one? The spiral kind of is confusing because the spiral comes up in many cultures and things as various things. So
this spiral in particular represents one of the fallen guru tribes, black spiral dancers. They sometimes work with the Mori and other agents of the worm. I'll leave it to you. Put it to you this way: we look at the worm as the forces of evil. If you're looking at things as good and evil,
none.
And
yeah,
though, yeah, she just wants to put it in simple terms for the moral kid.
Yeah.
The
worm, at least as far as I understand it, wants to eat and corrupt and destroy everything.
Yes. What we did at the power plant.
Let me put it to you this way, kid. If we didn't do what we did at the power plant, we let it keep going, it would have made reality so normal that I'm not even sure vampires would be able to continue to exist in the city. So we did what we did because we had to.
See, the problem is everybody seems to underestimate the core vampires and their abilities.
Well, it's less about your abilities and it's more about your deviation. It's less about your people's abilities.
Then don't classify me then, please.
I'm sorry, I'm tired. I just spent 10 hours.
I know you don't mean it.
I spent 10 hours astrally projecting my consciousness over the goddamn city.
Why?
Because I was looking to see if what we did may have opened cracks in reality.
Nonsense explained a lot.
We didn't, which means whatever's there is, at least as far as I can tell, is whatever's there is probably in the rubble of the power plant. But anyway, and that's because you and John need to get back to me about If I did find any new nodes.
Yeah, John was asking questions.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
already told him the two that I'm aware for the vampire, so if you want to know those, I can give those to you.
Yeah. It's fine, basically, until John gives me a full post. I'll say I'm collating the data, but she didn't find any like obvious. This is a giant supernode that is pouring out nothing but bad times.
Oh, well then he really hasn't talked to you because you need to know.
Okay then. Yeah, no, he hasn't talked to me, so I'm
No,
still
I
collating the
think
data.
I think he was still collating the data, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm still collating the data, but I didn't see anything that was too terrible.
Nope.
But anyways, what? There's a thing in reality called the consensus, which makes things more or less normal, more or less able to change.
I'd say what's normal in this nowadays?
It's what people agree are normal. And most people don't agree that vampires are normal. And if the consensus got bolstered and became much more solid and made it so things can't change, and enough people don't believe in vampires, then those vampires will cease to exist.
Well, I guess the same could be said.
Retroactively.
Then that would work for any of us, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And that's why we fight the technocracy.
Although the whole, creation of God, God's creating Cain was kind of it would make things a little bit more interesting, and I can imagine could only create a massive paradox that would probably destroy all life as we know it. Yeah, I've seen way too many movies. He just looks.
Well, you
You
are
know,
speaking.
Yeah.
You are speaking to one of God's chosen warriors. So,
well, no. If she is what I think she is, she's not God. She's Gaia's. Big difference.
no, you're speaking to one of
Mm.
God's chosen warriors. Miriam says, pointing to
Yes.
herself and taking another swig of wine.
No, the argument can be made. You just know. Just saying.
We're all
Remember, it's
on.
all a point of view.
We've all got different points of view, but the fact of the matter is, anything that's happening here can potentially affect everybody.
Yeah, and it seems like it has.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to dig through all that rubble and.
That's gonna be fun. Really
Yeah.
fun. We found some. Yeah, we ran into some fun stuff in there. I'll tell you that much. Whew. To begin with. Just some creepy three-mouthed.
We just ran into a couple of robots.
Yeah, that was some of the tech stuff that we were gonna have the glasswalkers come along and deal with. They were very disappointed that they weren't around. We did some investigating prior to that to know what we were getting into.
Yeah, we managed to take the robot sniper rifle. That's going to be fun things to mess with later.
I bet.
But anyways,
There's probably something else you might want to write down in your little book there, Miriam.
All right.
Vampires are getting new powers.
What do you mean?
That I hadn't heard.
Vampires use abilities they call disciplines. It's like their unique extra superpower that they get. Many are finding out that they have a new one that has just appeared.
That I hadn't heard.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about it, but I'm not
It
vampires,
makes
so fuck
sense with what
McKenna is listening intently.
it makes sense with what the sort of energies that were released.
Yeah, kind
Vampires
of energy
have-
is very unusual. A lot of energy.
Yeah, we call it quintessence. It's the prime energy that underpins the universe.
We refer to it as gnosis.
Yeah, and vampires have a form of it in their blood, and it's quite possible that it's resonating with the quintessence that flooded the city.
So quite literally everyone, not just dreams.
Yeah. Are the Guru getting anything funky from this? New abilities?
Our spirit energies are a lot easier to
Yeah, you
use.
mentioned that. So
Spirit-based weapons work a lot easier.
okay.
Um,
So yeah, it seems like
anything spirit-based.
everyone's getting new toys at the very least.
Yes. So where's the negative drawback on this? There's got to be one somewhere.
Well, what I've been trying to point out that nobody seems to want to listen to is if all the, and now I use this term very loosely for every organization, but if all the good guys are getting all these bonuses, what about the bad guys who are the same make and model, so to speak?
That's what I'm. That's exactly it.
That's definitely a bad side.
Now,
There's also some evidence we may have attracted something.
like,
Well, Mr. Charbroiled Skin, possibly.
that thing, yes.
Yeah. Uh, Also, oftentimes, if there's this much quintessence in an area, you get what are called paradox spirits coming down to reinforce the consensus. We may be dealing with those soon if we can't get this under control.
I can safely say that I know that if we're getting something on our end, that the Black Spiral Dancers, she points at the glyph again, probably did too.
I can tell you the technocracy probably are not. But there are other bad mages besides them.
And yes. And if they have their own places of power like we do, they probably got enhanced as well.
Yeah. And Nefandi are the last thing we need.
You know, the one thing I've learned about symbolism in dreams, and believe me, since I've been having these creepy dreams, I've been doing a lot of Google searches. More specifically, my dream, there are certain things that have kind of stood out, and then when I heard other people, when I've heard other instances of various dreams, there seem to be a few common denominators. The game company, which is Happy Fun Times for those who are curious, or Happy Times, or whatever the hell it was, I don't know.
Happy Fun Times games.
Yeah. Creepy place. How about that?
Yeah.
Covers the world and covers a city in games, like literally up to the top of the tallest building. Is kind of creepy.
At the very out of character. At the very least, it's not Avalon Games.
True.
But there's that, and the fact that the same particular things, like I said, keep recurring in everybody's dream. The wolf, the ram, in one way, shape, or form they've been in. I've actually heard one where it was a humanoid shape with a wolf head and a humanoid shape with a ram head. But
creepy.
both still had the heart-shaped patch somewhere on their body, but for some reason was always visible, which really is creepy.
That's probably something else we may have attracted.
Yeah, I looked. The only thing that comes close to that, at least within the city limits, is a law firm.
Oh?
By the name of Ram, Wolf, and Hart. After doing some more digging, because I'm 16 and have a lot of time on my hands, I've uncovered that this law firm is pretty powerful. They're located in most of the major cities in the world, and they've never lost a case.
Ooh.
Miriam's going to swig back the wine, and she's going to say, you wouldn't happen to have a laptop, would you?
Not on me, it's in the car.
Mind if I borrow it? Mine needs a new operating system. Let me just
Not
say
that thing
part
going.
of. Yeah.
He just smiled.
Let me just say that part of what I got from the power plant exploding was now all the transistors in my laptop now take infinite surface area.
Nice.
Goddamn fractals. But that means I need to code a new operating system from scratch to get it to work again.
I know a few people you could call.
I know a few people I can call too, so I'm waiting for them to call me back.
They're kind of outside the system. Like, literally.
Well, if you can give my
You're
number.
speaking computers, so you're speaking Swahili to McKenna.
Yeah,
If
complete
you can give them
mortals
my,
who are just hackers.
if you can give them my number, I'll take a look. But
Sure.
I need to borrow somebody's computer for this.
If you turn the thing off, I'll go get it and bring it back, but I'm not coming back through that thing again. He just looks at you.
Off.
Nods. Gets up, goes out, gets his laptop, comes back in,
All right.
sits it down, sets it up.
All right.
If Miriam knows anything about computers, it's like the state of the art, you know.
Miriam's got
Obviously,
3
lots
dots
of
of
money
computers and 3 dots of computer hacking.
Yeah, obviously he
So-
spent a lot of money on this computer.
Yay.
Yeah, well, being a Giovanni has its advantages.
And Miriam whips out 3 thumb drives, slaps them in, and hey, it's got all our hacking programs on them. And she's gonna hack the law firm.
You better get hands on all those roles. I'm telling you that now. Law firm is my little baby, so you better get tens on them rolls because they're fucking elite.
Well, she is using the secondary skill, so that does drop the dick down by 1.
The
So
appropriate
nice.
ST is at least here for that one.
Yeah,
Hey, at least I got it.
perfect. Yeah, so you got 9s to at least go with.
All right, I'm gonna drop a
Yeah, this law
willpower.
firm is no joke.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop a willpower on this.
Yeah.
I got 1.
2, counting your willpower.
Yep.
It's enough to at least get someone in the door. You notice Lorenzo's watching you because he's curious and he knows how to hack computers too.
Right. McKenna is
You're leaving a
definitely
back
watching
door.
you.
You're leaving a footprint. You might want to get rid of that. Get rid of that.
Yeah, I've been doing this for a long time, kid. She's doing her best to cover her tracks, but all she needs to do is get in the front door because after figuring out how hard that was, she's now just going to magic her way in. Because correspondence lets you do that. So
McKenna.
hey, look, I've now got a correspondence link to the location of where their server is. So I'm just going to go there.
McKenna taking note of the kids' setup and whatnot. She's like,
2, 3.
you know,
Hmm.
I might know some people you may get along with.
He smiles.
All right. It's as soon as Miriam's in the front door, and as soon as she's relatively clear, she's covered her tracks. I'm using correspondence 2 to project my consciousness to the location of their server.
Okay. It's
So
not
what-
on the same site where the law firm is. I can tell you that now.
No, but I can
They're
poke.
not stupid.
I can poke around and take a look.
It looks like a server farm.
Okay, so they keep all their stuff
For
in a
Holly's
bit of
term is basically a server farm. I don't know if you know exactly what that is.
Right.
Server farm is
It's-
basically just a giant room with a bunch of computers set up purposely to
Okay.
be the servers.
Yep, it's where everything's hosted.
McKenna
I
has zero.
I worked in one once.
Yeah, they're actually pretty cool. I mean, when you look at them, and literally cold because they have to keep it cold.
Yeah, what's more cool is the room next door where they manage all that stuff called the Knock. Looks like a goddamn war room.
Oh, I bet you that's got to be fun.
Yeah, Knocks are
Anyway.
awesome. Anyway,
Deep stuff. Okay.
So she pulls back and is like, okay, I guess I got to keep hacking.
Well, you're probably not going to get into their actual site that they run from the law firm. From what I've heard, there are conflicting reports. And it seems like there's kind of like I can't even classify this in any other term other than what I've heard and read online. But it's kind of like some kind of field around the entire building. It seems to prevent anything unusual from happening. But I did some more research. He goes, "Can I see the laptop for a second?"
Hands it over.
Change back your USBs.
Yeah. And as soon as they unplug, the programs delete off your laptop.
He's happy with that. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
You see him typing real quick. You see him bring up a website. You'd be amazed how often you can find stuff like this. It lists all the known, lack of a better term, magic nodes that have ever been relatively determined within some decency.
Mm-hmm.
You see that spot here in Minneapolis? He points to it.
Yeah.
That's exactly where the law firm is. The problem is, that is also classified as, he types real quick, you see it, bring it up, Hellmouth.
Okay. I have some ideas of what they are now. And if they're what I think they are, then that's bad news, and I'm gonna try to confirm it.
Yeah, I need to see if I even can figure that out.
See, I didn't know what that meant until I actually researched it.
No, mostly it's that field, because that field sounds really
Does this fall under
He looks at
cult?
McKenna. Yes, it would fall under a cult.
Well, I at least have
A cult or enigmas, either one would work.
I'm gonna roll esoterica.
That'll work too.
a cult or what? I'm sorry.
Enigmas.
No. Well, let's see.
More a cult than anything, but if you didn't have a cult, enigmas would be effective.
I have a cult, but
I think I got it on esoterica.
Oh yeah. Hellmouths are, well, exactly.
Yeah,
what
no, I don't get it.
Yeah, Hellmouths are exactly what they sound like, a portal into hell.
What the? You gotta be fucking kidding me.
I think we may have found Project Black Gate. Miriam says, looking at Holly. Or, sorry, McKenna.
That sounds
Project Black Gate.
spot on.
You know I'll research this if I have to. You could just tell me. Save me a lot of.
It was one of the things. It was one of the things that cropped up when I searched the power plant. When I initially got the intel that made us hit it.
Interesting.
It was. If there's one thing the technocracy are really good at, it's making really ominous project names.
Yeah, kind of, and not very subtle either. It looks not very subtle.
The other project that we were worried about was one called Project Eden, which was going to make a field like that. Yeah, it was going to make a field like that go over the whole city.
Yikes!
Yeah.
No.
Well, what I've since determined is there are many of those what they call hellmouths located throughout the world. Some are relatively inactive or controlled in one way, shape, or form, and others are, free-flowing and tend to be spots of high paranormal or unusual activity.
Okay.
According to a Google search, then. You just look. Like occult and me, ironically, as much as my background, you would think I'd know more occult. I don't know that much.
Oh, that's fine.
I can tell you everything you wanted to know about the kindred, but no jack and shit about the occult.
That's fine. I had to spend 6 months as an apprentice to learn what I know. So.
Right.
Well, I luck out having eidetic memory, so I remember everything I see. So it helps a lot.
Well,
so much.
If my hunch is correct, then this law firm is some kind of technocracy front.
I think.
If my hunch is correct, because they're the ones who can make things normal. And they're the ones it's in their best interest to make things normal.
Now, out of curiosity, I did check to see case-wise what this law firm particularly handles, at least within this city. More scumbags and people that all those people you see in the news that get away with, literally murder in some cases. These guys represent them. Like,
Oh, so they're a bunch of
Prince your-
scumbags too.
Oh yeah.
Do
oh, yeah.
you
These guys
know
make scumbags
what
look,
happens to their?
clean.
Do you know what happens to their clients after they win cases?
Some go on as stay retained. The law firm gets retained by them, from what I've been able to determine, because a majority of them are still alive and kicking, if that's what you're trying to hint at.
Not
But
missing?
No.
some have gone missing. Some have been found dead.
Huh.
Well, that's,
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
yeah, that's more confirming my
Yeah.
hypothesis there.
That's real interesting.
I mean, most are still alive, which is scary enough. Because some of the people that are out on the streets that these guys have cleared of all charges. Ugh.
All right,
Makes
Miriam.
me
Some of the
stay
charges, anyway, as she's like,
Miriam's gonna look around, look
Think
left,
of-
look right, and she's
Think of
gonna
all
say,
the bad charges you can think of, and somewhere in the city there's someone who has done it.
"Yeah,
is
I hope."
cleared of all charges, huh?
Yeah,
And apparently they had pull in all the wrong places.
Tarsus is gonna kill me for doing this here, and Miriam's
Probably.
gonna look. Miriam's gonna look off in the distance, and she's gonna try to correspondence over to the law firm to take a look around. And I'm willing to bet it's gonna ping her back hard. But
Yeah, tell you that right now. Oof.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
She's got to ritual cast the fucking thing. 5, 6. So yeah, I'm guessing it's warded.
Completely, yes.
Yeah, so it's just she looks in the distance. She's chanting in Hebrew. She's running her finger through the air, and then all of a sudden she snaps back and her head slams against the bar. And she goes, "Yeah, that's warded. That's warded very hard. Ow, 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 ow."
Me.
Do you need some ice for that?
Hand me the bottle.
She just hands her the bottle of wine.
And she takes another fucking swig of wine.
Ugh. That's one way to cure a headache.
Yeah. Ow, 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 ow. No, the head on the bar was not painful at all. It was suddenly having your consciousness thrown back into your body from a distance of about 10 miles. Ow.
Yeah, I guess that hurt.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, that place is warded like hell. I mean, the power plant was
Oh,
warded, but it was a brick wall. This was like a rubber sheet. Ow.
Well, you got to think about
Damn.
it. If they purposely, and
High
I've checked,
river.
here's the fun part. I've checked. Most of the law firm's locations are on top of some of these nodes.
Yeah.
More specifically, on top of the Hellmouth nodes. So if it's not this technocracy, what you're referring to, I would say demon protection.
What?
If they're demons, then there's only 2 things I know that consort with demons.
Well, see, I'm not saying they're demons per se. I'm saying they may have demons.
Yeah, there's only 2 things.
To kind of
Well,
make sure.
There's only 2 things I know that deal with demons at all.
Jar.
The Nefandi and the Nefandi and the Sabbat.
What's the Sabbat? You've already told me about the Nefandi.
The Sabbat are the...
They're black spirals, Miriam says, pointing to.
Best way to describe it is they're the bad guys in the vampire world.
They're the ones who don't want to just be left alone. They're the ones who want to shoot up the place.
They're the
They
ones
like to make show.
They're the ones who will kill you in public and expose what they are to the world. Because they don't.
Those morons.
Yeah.
Well, see, a lot of people assume they're morons, but actually, from what I've learned from the knowledge I've gained due to
No.
unfortunately I have to say this, my family's ties to some of their organizations, they're a bit more organized than most people assume. They don't do anything without a plan. they have a hierarchy that is very strict about what they do. So whenever you see a lot of activity like that happen, it's been ordered to do so.
So yeah, those are the only two things I know of that willingly will consort with demons.
Yeah, well, see, here's the catch. A lot of people think the Sabbat do it a lot, but it's not just the Sabbat. There are random kindred and mortals who like to delve into those affairs just for
These guys
because
seem
they're
too organized.
stupid.
This law firm seems way too
You-
organized to
You
just be
certainly
randoms.
know a lot, kid.
I spent a lot of time sitting in a giant library full of information that nobody thought I'd study. Way too much time.
She's just like looking at him. You're what, 15?
16. I've been with him since I was born.
And you mean to tell me
Here's-
that
Here's
you
really gonna. Here's
you've
something that's
spent
really
your
gonna.
life sitting in a room?
Most of it.
Ugh.
Here's what's really gonna fuck with you. My mother is a full-fledged vampire. So is my father. Here's the disturbing part of that. My father is also my uncle.
She just face palms and she's shaking her head. She's just like,
And
this is-
yeah, that's the Giovanni family for you.
Miriam takes a swig of wine.
Believe me, there are times I want to do that too, but I'm too young.
Okay.
Yeah, you get into my family, you get into all kinds of weird, twisted, sick shit that just makes you want to go, what the fuck? I'm in the family and I go, what the fuck?
Well,
Hey,
also, if
Hey, if you dig deep enough in the history, even some of the nicer parts of all of us have what the fucks going on.
True. Except our family continues to excel in the what the fuck category.
I'm
Here's
not
what
sure I
I'm
even
gonna
want to
get in
ask.
trouble for.
The organization I'm part of accidentally started the Crusades.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know what the Giovanni's family strongest discipline is?
Necromancy.
Nods. McKenna, if you don't know what that is, that's playing with the dead.
Playing with the dead, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
And these guys excel at it. They're creepy. I've seen them do shit that would probably make you want to vomit or destroy them all on sight.
And Miriam's gonna look up and she's gonna say, and that is one of the things that Kindred can do better than mages. I am so glad to say.
Yeah, unfortunately, when they play with the dead, they sometimes literally play with the dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
It
Yeah,
takes a
yeah.
lot more. It takes a lot of effort for a mage to. Yeah. If a mage does that, that's a quick way of breaking their avatar and making them go Nefandi. So.
That's nasty. That's nasty. Just let the dead shit lie. Come on.
Hey, that's been my argument, but it's something they're really good at, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Can I roll perception and empathy on him to see if he's like really like? Ugh.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Because he is. I actually can't stand his family's thing.
Yep.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, enough to know that, yeah, he really is not proud of his last name, but...
So you said they're your family. Why tell everybody all the dirty laundry?
Why not?
Something stopping him from being embraced, and he's too useful to kill.
I wouldn't go too far in the second assumption. If they knew what I just told you, yeah, I'd be dead by tomorrow.
I'll keep my mouth shut, kid, because she's looking at him. He's like 16 and mortal.
If you need protection, I can't exactly offer it at the place I'm staying.
You do know we have one of our ranks in your numbers. It looks at you.
Yes, but you also know I'm not
curious.
staying at that church.
I wouldn't blame you. Actually, he's not a bad guy. He's really pretty decent.
He's Vittorio. He's not a bad guy.
Yeah, as weird as that is, I mean, he definitely does not fit in with the rest of the family. But you know, hey, whatever.
He barely fits in with the chorus.
Yeah, well,
I can imagine
if
his
Marcelo
side
was
job.
here, she's scared shitless of him. That's neither here nor there.
So,
But hell, I fit in worse than he does there. So there you go.
you know what's funny? If you guys really want to know more about the Kindred, if you want to learn as much as you can about them, I can give you what I know.
But what do you want is the question. There's always a
No such thing as a free
price.
lunch.
He smiles. That's true. But in this case, I think it may be beneficial. You actually had to sit and think for a second on how to word it.
All right.
She's quite curious about this kid's motives here.
Okay, let me break it down to you like this. The way it goes in my family is when one, now mind you, the Giovanni clan as itself is broken up into about, 13 families. 13 powerful families.
All right.
Most of them have ties that you probably are unaware of. We do have your kind within our ranks, as he looks at McKenna, and her kind within our ranks. The Giovanni have literally somehow managed to get into every possible denizen group that you could possibly think of. I don't know how, and I don't really want to know. But our family is rather large. When we have squabbles with each other, when one family is squabbling with another, you know what they do? They don't fight it out. No, they embrace someone from the other side. That's how the family disputes get corrected.
So they use each other to
Nods.
make
That's where I
ties
fit in.
and bonds.
Guess where I fit in.
They're trying to use you for something of that nature.
Nods.
I don't blame you for wanting to spill all this information.
Well, I know more about the Camarilla too, and the good thing is they can't really touch our family. There's an agreement that was made between the Giovanni clan and the Camarilla a long time ago. It's what they call a promise. You might want to jot this information down because it will be useful later. He looks between two of you.
Yeah. As soon as you've offered to share what you know, Miriam has already pushed the record button on her phone.
Yep.
The Giovanni promise pretty much goes something like this, and I'm paraphrasing. I mean, it's much longer because, we have a lot of lawyers in our group too, so, of course, it's got to be all legal. But it basically boils down to, as long as the Giovanni don't interfere with Camarilla business matters, and as long as the Camarilla doesn't interfere with Giovanni business matters.
It's the Camarilla.
The Camarilla are I can't call them good guys because
they're the more subtle leeches, the ones that just really want to be left alone.
So they're different politics involved.
Oh yeah, there's quite a few political branches of the Kindred Society. I'll get to that in a minute. But basically the two organizations agreed to live and let live kind of thing. You mind your shit, we'll mind ours. We leave each other the fuck alone. And, Giovanni are considered what's classified as an independent clan. There are a few of them out there. They don't follow either the Sabbat politics, which is, basically kill everybody or turn them all, and they don't follow the Camarilla policy, which is hide our numbers because we don't want to be found out.
Okay.
The independents are, kind of walking that fine line. I mean, most of them have rules in place to prevent any possible issues. My family in particular has ways of handling those who get out of line. And it's not always embraced. Usually it's creepier things. Like, can you imagine, hey, a mortal is, one of our mortal family members dies. Well, he happened to cross a more powerful kindred family member. Guess what they can do to his body? or more appropriately, his soul.
She raises a brow and looks at him.
There are
What?
some members within the Giovanni who can literally control the body and at sometimes the soul of a person.
Fuck.
Yeah, well, I told you the family's fucked up. I wasn't kidding. In other words, since
I'm
you fucked
sorry.
this over, I'm gonna make the rest of your unnatural life even longer by making you my bitch. My undead slave bitch. To put it in the most generic terms I can.
Miriam just listens and takes another swig, and then looks at the wine bottle and tosses it aside
Yeah,
and says, "Another,
yeah.
please."
Yeah, McKenna's like, whiskey.
Here comes the fun part. You were wondering about the various political groups. Within the Camarilla, there is a group called the Anarchs. They have their name for a very particular reason. You can imagine.
Yeah.
At one point in time, there was what was called the Anarch Revolt. Basically, the Anarchs kind of wanted to break free from the Camarilla and basically be their own fucking entity. Issues arose, problems became issues that became out of control, and there was some fighting, and eventually the Anarchs lost. Or more appropriately, they came to a compromise. The Anarchs agreed the only what is classified as tradition within the Camarilla, the traditions or the laws the Camarilla follow, by the way. The only tradition they agreed to follow is to not breach the Masquerade. The Masquerade is what all the Camarilla follow in order to hide their true selves from the mortal world. And they go to great lengths to ensure the Masquerade stays that way.
Okay.
And congratulations, you've probably just made Miriam hit Kindred Lore 3.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say I just picked up a lot too because she had like
Well,
nothing.
I know I had like one or two from that long conversation with Jade, but now knowing what the Anarch Revolt is, that probably kicks it to 3.
Yeah.
So there's within the Camarilla, there's the regular Camarilla, and then there's the Anarchs. But the Anarchs are still protected by the Camarilla organization as a whole. That's what makes their organization so unique, is because the Anarchs are kind of a group within a group, however, still protected by the bigger group. As confusing as that is. The Sabbat, however, have no qualms, and they don't make deals. Well, not with other organizations. Yeah, no, I saw.
Okay.
To break it down to barest minimums, as I said, my family does have some dealings with the Sabbat. My family has dealings with a lot of groups I would prefer not to. But that's my personal preference, and I can't exactly tell the founder of the clan what to do. Oh, and by the way, the founder is still up and walking.
Fun.
Yes, to give you a general idea, most founders of the clans of the vampires are either non-existent at this point, or in what they call a torpor, which is basically their extended sleep. Most of the younger vampires prefer it that way, because the older vampires tend to be more, how do we put it, bitchy.
Miriam at this point is
Old and
going to look at him
cranky?
and say, "You wouldn't happen to know what Kane is up to right now, would you?"
Kane is currently in a bunch of pieces being protected by some of the most powerful kindred on the planet.
And now that kicks it up to Kindred Lore 5. Thank you!
For those who don't know the history, Cain slew his brother, got cursed by God, and became the first ever vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Cain is also the most powerful. If he were ever to rise again, this world would be destroyed. Because he would take it within himself to do so. Cain was only killed by his children, what are classified as the second generation. As you can figure, Cain first generation, so on and so forth, down the line. They say as the generations get higher, the blood gets thinner. Some believe that after a certain amount of time, even though you've been embraced by a vampire, you may very well not be much more than what's classified as a half-ass ghoul, for lack of a better term. Ghouls are just ghouls are mortal subjects that are fed vampire blood in order to keep them loyal and basically daytime protectors, in lack of a better term.
Do they do that to you?
No, I don't need to be. I'm in the
If
family.
they did it to him, the field would have had a harder time on him.
Okay.
No, I'm pure mortal. Well, except for the fact that I have Giovanni blood running through my system, but it's neither here nor there. And I think the reason why they haven't turned me yet is because they're not sure about me.
What do you mean they're not sure about you?
As I said, we have family within many circles. Shifters, mages, and others. They're probably waiting to see if I go shifter on them before they do anything. Wow. If I recall correctly, now correct me if I'm wrong, McKenna, since you seem to be.
You're the right age.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get at.
I can tell you if you've
don't they usually turn about my age?
If something traumatic happens.
Yeah, well, I've already experienced a lot of that, so.
I can tell you if you have any mage
then
potential.
it's not truly traumatic enough in that case.
No,
yeah, Miriam looks right at him and says, I can tell you if you have any mage potential.
I think another mage told me that I do have potential. Or maybe it was you, I don't remember. I don't know, I met a lot of people lately.
Let's take a look. One, I don't recall if she did, but...
Yeah, I can't remember who did. That's the storyteller.
Do you have mage potential?
Yes, he does have mage potential.
You do have potential to awaken as a mage.
Yeah, I figured as much. Well, like I said,
you have a moderately strong avatar. You have... Yeah, you definitely have that potential.
So that's probably what they're waiting on, is to figure out, A, if I'm going to turn shifter. Mages, I can assume, can be... I don't know what you use to classify becoming a mage. I know...
Awaken.
Okay. I assume they're waiting to see if I awaken.
Mages generally awaken on their own, but they can be pushed.
So, see,
a change can be forced, but it's dangerous.
Yeah,
it's stupid.
That might be what they're trying to do. I mean, with this whole family situation, that might be what's trying to,
if you don't want to be a mage, the advice I can give you is don't read any books Vittorio hands you.
Don't plan on it. Well, I don't know. I'm curious, and anytime someone hands a book in front of me, I tend to read it, even if I don't need to.
One of the most common ways of forcing an awakening is
interesting.
Is giving someone what's called a grimoire.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And
I've seen enough movies.
Yeah, it's basically a book that makes your mind break just enough to awaken.
Hey, nuts. Gotcha.
Yeah. And the chorus has its own.
Well, my main thing is I haven't decided what I want to do yet. I want the freedom to choose what I'm going to do rather than have the choice taken away. Within my family, the choice would be taken away. Whether I have the mage potential or the shifter potential, they wouldn't care.
I can tell you if you go mage, you can still be embraced, but once you're embraced, you can't go back.
Gotcha. I can probably also tell you, as much as McKenna will probably want to find the ones involved and rip their throats out, we do have a few that are a mix. He's looking right at McKenna. Yeah, I figured she'd get what I meant by that. Looks at Miriam. A mix, as I was referring to it, is called an abomination. They were once shifters who are embraced by the vampires. They tend to be hunted by both sides because of their uniqueness, but our family has weird things. Many, many weird things. I saw the creature I saw the other day. Whew, that's scary enough.
So you don't even seem like you want to be around him yet.
You know, I've given you enough information about my family to make you use your own judgment. What would you think if you were a 16-year-old kid who's learning all of this information about the very family that his last name unfortunately is tied
My
to?
mind would be fucking blown. I'd be pissed off.
You know,
Hence
kid,
the why I'm doing what I'm doing. He smiles.
I can't do
Yeah,
this yet.
I gathered.
I can't do this yet, but if you give me a couple of months, I can get you somewhere where they can't find you.
He doesn't say anything. Perception, empathy for those for
Yeah.
anybody who's curious, because right after she said that, he kind of got a look like, and he actually
Nothing.
took an inhaled breath as if he was going to say something, but then you could see him hold himself
Yeah,
back.
it's nothing.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Jesus Christ.
Philodox.
From the way he reacted, you're gathering that he's got something in mind.
Yeah. Miriam's plan would be,
Right.
I'm gonna use correspondence 3, and I'm gonna just send you somewhere else. It's the best way to leave town. It's just,
You
hey,
look
guess
like you're
what?
up to
You're in
something.
New York City now. Boink.
You look like you're up to something. All right.
No matter what you speak, he keeps his mouth shut.
She just looks at him and rolls her eyes because she knows that that's a crock of shit. And
Let's just
it's
say
my
that-
job to pick up these things.
I got
I'm
you.
quite good at it. Now,
Let's just say that
I don't know what
my
your
family
plan
has
is.
such powerful ties that in order for me to disappear off of their radar, there are a few things that must be done due to their ability to play with the dead, as I referred to earlier. All they would need is where I'm currently buried in order to
Well,
bring me back.
that's the thing, is if you are teleported halfway across the
you're
planet.
playing a dangerous game, is what it sounds like, kid.
He nods.
You're.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, I'm
but,
full aware how dangerous it is.
Hey,
Well,
if you're teleported halfway across the planet, that's a very good way of dropping off their radar for a while.
For a while, the problem is that as soon as I go disappearing, they're going to put their feelers out because there are some very powerful members within the family who want to see where I head. I have a lot of eyes on me. Unfortunately, I don't want. I have to be very careful with what I do on the computer. I have to be very careful with what is said through text, what is said in person, so on and so forth. Thankfully, I don't have any more watchers because those two
is
bastards.
anybody helping you? Are you doing this shit all by yourself?
No. Don't misunderstand. I'm not trying to do this on my own. I'm not stupid enough to even attempt that without some kind of assistance from outside sources. So yes, I do have people helping me, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Fair enough.
All right, but if
I will find you and get a hold of you, and we can talk to some of your associates and see what can be done.
Right now, all I can do is teleport small objects, and even then, only in certain places. But if you give me a while, learn some more, I can teleport people.
See him grab out a piece of paper and a pen. He writes something down. He writes something down, rips the piece of paper in half, hands one piece to both of you.
Okay.
It's my personal number and my email address. Both are secured as much as I possibly can, and believe me, it takes a lot of work to hack them. Plus, I change my passwords every 3 days or so.
Okay.
Yeah. My password's on it.
McKenna will just pass him a phone number back.
Yeah. Miriam will hand him a blank business card with a phone number that's been handwritten in pen because she has burner phones.
You see him look at both numbers. You see him rip the pieces of paper up into small little confetti and just kind of drop it onto.
Okay.
Yep. And
I get it.
Miriam also.
As soon as I see it, it's always in my mind. So I don't tend to keep anything for purposes of backtracking.
Oh, that's why I gave you a burner number. She says she opens her jacket and there's 3 fucking cheapo phones on her belt.
Oh, well, yeah, those tend to come in handy.
Yep. If someone backtraces the number, or I just throw the fucking phone out and contact the people whose number I gave
Just
for
look
that
at
particular
his-
phone.
See him look at his phone. Well, I gotta get going. Apparently, somebody needs to talk to me. Hey, Dad.
All right.
Nothing bad. Don't worry. Just one of my buddies
Hey.
wants to hang out.
Keep this though. Miriam says, handing you a black thumb drive.
Okay. Put it
This is the fuck everything, I'm erasing everything program.
Nuts.
Yeah.
You see him pull a thumb drive out. If you want to give her a copy at your choice, hand it to you, Mary.
All right.
She knows shit about computers, so.
Miriam looks at McKenna and says, I'll get you a copy.
All right.
What that is, it's a list of the various clans, what their symbols are, and the most generic knowledge that any clan will give any other kindred.
And at that, Miriam looks disappointed and says, oh, we already have all that.
Well, you do.
Yeah.
Does yours have Sabbat information on it?
Ours has
Looks
the
at
basic. Ours has the basics of the Sabbat. We have.
Look at that a
We
little
know.
closer.
We know a bit of the.
He just looks at you and says, "Look at that a little closer." That's
all right.
his.
I'll take a look.
I am sure that I
Nuts.
can. Yeah. It'll get taken a look at.
Obviously, my family is a little more detailed in there because, well, personal experience.
Correct.
Obviously.
It won't tell you their direct powers. The most I know is what I've heard is their more common powers amongst the various groups,
Gotcha.
which may be helpful. I don't know.
Gotcha. It might be.
But I figure it's
My
at least
boss
something
is
to start
supposed
with.
to. My boss is talking to one of the leeches, so it might be of use to her, so she knows what she's getting into.
By the way, I never gave that to you.
Understood.
I'm sorry. Who are you?
He smiles there.
How did you get through the field?
Carefully. I'm a ninja. He grabs his laptop.
Yes.
But I gotta get going. I hope you guys be safe out there. From what I hear, things are getting pretty
Yeah,
intense.
they're getting crazy.
Yep.
Safe travel, kid.
If you need anything, if you absolutely need to get a hold of me and can't for whatever reason, Miriam, I think you have my mom's number.
I can get a hold of you anywhere without any tech, and she just smirks at that.
Well, if for some reason you can't get a hold of me through that means as well, go to my
If
mom's.
I can't get a hold of you through that means, you're on some other plane or you're dead.
He just looks, doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
One of those looks
Yeah.
like, that's my point.
That being said, now that my mind is completely blown on many levels,
Nice meeting you, McKenna. Hope to see you around.
nice meeting you as well.
By the way, I've been holding this in the entire time I've been sitting here. You're a hottie. He gets up and talks.
Yep. Miriam's got it. Miriam's going. Yeah. Miriam's going to. Yeah. Miriam's going to mental fortitude herself so that she's no longer.
All right.
Hey, look, she's no longer drunk.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
McKenna's like, all right. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. McKenna, you okay to drive? You need a little bit of awakeness.
I might.
All right, and so she sort of stares off into space because hey, she's internalized her focus now.
She's McKenna well enough to know that she likes to get drunk.
Well, no, it's one of the other things I got from the power plant was I can do this without having to actually draw magic circles.
Nice.
And hey, look, McKenna, you're not drunk anymore.
Yes, I can drive now. My little
Yeah,
piece of guitar.
I don't have enough life to do this. I only have mind. So basically, all the mental effects of drinking are
Right.
gone. But you still got the motor skill problems.
Okay. Thanks, Miriam.
Not a problem.
I think this is an appropriate time to say goodnight, and I will be in touch with you.
I'll be in touch too. And she gets up and heads out.
Yeah. She gets up and
Spend the
walks
next
out
12
as well.
hours monitoring a vampire's dreams.
All right. We're going to cut scene here, so I got to get with Ian. So thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching.